Well, good morning, happy Friday, and welcome into the Real Monica Adams Show. Getting ready for the weekend. Let me know what your plans are. Maybe something you're doing is something that one of your friends that are watching this morning wants to do. We've got some weather for you. We've got some news you can use. I know on Sunday what I'm doing. I will be parked watching the World Cup. How many of you have been watching that, and how many of you are excited about the World Cup? I can't believe it's finally coming to an end. It's been a really exciting last few weeks. We're going to also have an amazing Foodie Friday on tap for you. If you are in love with our St. Louis food scene and what Gerard Kraft has done for us with the Niche Family Food Group, Chef Matt Wynn used to work with Gerard, and now he works at an exclusive club. He can't even tell me. That's how exclusive it is. But he is going to make up one of the dishes that they make at the club. So we're going to get a little fancy today. All of that coming up, and we also have a huge announcement of two, not one, but two businesses that are joining us in a major way. So that's pretty exciting as well. All of that coming up for you this morning on the Real Monica Adams Show. Let's kick it off, though, with our segment that we call What the Weather.
Good evening and welcome into this new More Weather Forecast video. My name is Beck Moore.
And our segment brought to you by our friends at Fenton Family Dentistry. If you're looking for a new dentist, we would love for you to give Dr. Jessica and the team a try, just like Beckett did, by the way. 552 Old Smizer Mill Road in Fenton. They have their social media that they do so many fun things on at Fenton Family Dentistry, and that's the website as well, fentonfamilydentistry.com. So we just had them on, and we were talking about all of the amazing things they can do. Of course, we talked about the Invisalign. If you're looking for a place to go have professional whitening, they can do that for you, and literally anything that you need to do. But make sure you take care of those teeth. As Abram was just on telling us, there are many diseases that can come out of you not taking care of your gums and your teeth. And we're talking Alzheimer's and cancer, diabetes, etc. So let the team take care of you. All right, Beckett Moore, good morning to you, my friend.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. We were talking about this weather being kind of up and down lately, and I was just asking Beckett before we had a chance to go on the air if we were going to have a wet one or a dry one. Kind of feels like a mixed bag this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be mainly sunny, but each day, today, tomorrow, and Sunday, we're looking at some possibility of some scattered showers and thunderstorms, which is very normal for this time of the year, especially in July on these drier days. Usually it's sunny in the morning, and then we get some afternoon showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon.
So we can't complain. This is what we should be expecting. Do you have any big plans for the weekend?
No, just head back to our cottage and hang out with my friends there.
Are you guys watching the World Cup at all?
I probably will, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's been exciting. Even if you haven't up to this point, now it's exciting because now we're down to the finals on Sunday. Well, if it's raining, it'll be a good day to be inside on Sunday. So let's find out. Beckett said it's kind of a mixture, so take it over, Beckett.
Yeah, so looking at the current conditions this morning, 74 degrees out there, mostly sunny skies. We do have a high dew point at 73, so it is humid right now. Our sunset tonight at 8:24, and wind's pretty calm right now, 3 miles an hour. Heading into this afternoon, 90 degrees. Again, that's exactly average for this time of the year. Mostly sunny skies. Could see some showers, some scattered showers and thunderstorms around the area. That's mainly going to be from noon to 3, but that chance still is pretty low. But if you do get a couple drops of rain this afternoon, don't be surprised. That is expected, at least for some parts of the area. 73 for our low tonight. Tomorrow, 93 for our high. Again, mostly sunny throughout the day. We could have some evening and overnight showers and thunderstorms, especially in those overnight hours. Early Sunday morning, that's when we could see a couple of those scattered storms and showers. And then heading into Sunday, another 20% chance, so even lower chance, but still could see, again, those showers and thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon on Sunday with a high near 90. By the time we get to start the work week on Monday, 94, so warming up just a bit, as well on Tuesday, 94, mostly sunny skies. And those temps do drop off a little bit for a little bit of a more cooler temperatures Wednesday and Thursday with highs near 85, and keeping with those mostly sunny skies.
Fantastic. And before you go, just saw a great question coming in from Pete. He said, does Beckett feel that the winds might shift and we would get part of that Canadian smoke?
I haven't heard that, but I'll definitely look into that.
Okay, perfect. Again, I was talking to some people last night. We had our big 3-year anniversary party at Adventure Unknown, and there were people in so many different states that were like, look at this. This is all being affected, and they're starting to like cough and kind of feel that. So Beckett will check in it for you. In fact, I'll make sure he sends me a text, and I can drop it in for you, Pete. So thank you. Well, whatever you're doing this weekend, Beckett, have a great time, and we'll talk to you again on Monday.
You too.
All right, folks, Beckett Moore, again, our aspiring meteorologist, giving you that forecast Monday and Friday. So, yeah, Pete and everybody else, do you have family and friends that have been saying the same thing, that they've been affected by that? Let us know. We're going to get into some news you can use. And for those, just the other day, I was telling you that you may have been affected by a long line of traffic in Town and Country at 270 and 64, where there was a fatal crash. And unfortunately, here we go. We're talking about another one, this one in Kirkwood, that shut down 44 this time overnight. The crash was between a tractor trailer and a car. It happened in the westbound lanes near Sappington. One person died, another was taken to the hospital. It happened about 12:30 this morning. The lanes did reopen, but not until 4 a.m. So any of those third shifters, if you were out late and you were wondering why, that is what happened on 44. All right, a lot of the community in St. Charles County is stepping up, saying, why not put the roads in first? St. Charles residents questioning a $100 million highway N fix. MoDOT says stable gas tax funding will allow earlier planning for some of these future projects. Well, there's one resident that has lived on Highway N for 28 years. She said the road that once ran past cornfields has been overwhelmed by decades of residential growth. City, county, and state leaders announced yesterday more than $100 million committed now to widening a 4-mile stretch of Highway N through the Lake St. Louis area from Hawk Ridge Trail to Perry Kate Boulevard. That project would expand the current 2-lane road to 4 lanes, adding a median, a shared use path, roundabouts, and other safety improvements. Leaders are defending the growth and the first approach, MoDOT citing that stable funding for earlier planning. If the project stays on schedule, construction on Highway N could begin as early as next year. Well, I was scrolling around on social media last night, and I stopped on, a lot of you might follow Alexis Zotos. She does great work with regards to our food scene, and I saw that she was talking about the group behind Steve's Hot Dogs, that they were one of many that were going to be a part of the Washington Avenue Food Hall, which I didn't even know we were getting. Did you? Tell me if you knew this. Wash Ave Food Hall, it's moving closer to an October opening in downtown St. Louis, a 14,000 square foot venue near 11th Street will feature more than a half dozen food vendors and multiple bars. The developer is Oliver Properties. They say the project is the first of its kind for downtown. Four Hands Brewery and Steve's Smash Burgers have already signed on as vendors. Additional vendors are expected to be announced very soon. Getting local operators like them on board is huge. That's validation, but it's also showing their support and that they believe in downtown and believe in Wash Avenue. Again, the food hall is expected to open in October. So again, I keep mentioning we've got to support our downtown, otherwise it'll just crumble. And so you can see that people are stepping up, wanting to get back and not to be so afraid of going into our city. So that's good news. All right, my donut lovers, this one's for you today. Here's how you can get a dozen donuts at Krispy Kreme for only 89 cents. They are offering customers this today for their 89th anniversary. To receive the discounted dozen, customers must first purchase 12 glazed donuts at the regular price. Customers who visit a shop or drive-through are limited to 2 dozen under the promotion. Those who order online or through delivery are limited to 1 dozen. The birthday announcement comes just a week after Krispy Kreme said it would sell Girl Scout-inspired donuts for a limited time. Those 3 flavors, by the way, are Thin Mints, Lemon Ups, and Samoas. I can't tell you the last time I had a Krispy Kreme donut, but today is your day if you are loving that. All right, if you're getting ready to fly, United Airlines, they're reinventing the middle seat, and here's what it will be on its newest planes. They announced the new Airbus jets will have a new type of seating in its Economy Plus cabin, a row without a middle seat passenger. Instead, there will be a fixed table between the 2 seats. That new option is said to give passengers in the row more elbow room. According to United, the new fleet of planes will begin flying internationally by early next year, with that seating design available for purchase later this year. United will be the first known U.S. carrier there to offer such an option. So you can see it there on the screen. What do you think about that? You know, when you fly, don't you kind of sit there and go, who gets the elbows? Who's able to put the arm, you know, over there? What do you think? Do you like that? It's going to cut down a little bit more, but I think the biggest complaint usually is from a room standpoint. So let me know what you think about that. By the way, there is a recall, and if you have a Subaru, this one could affect you. More than 540,000 Subarus are being recalled. This is the Crosstrek, the Forester, and the Ascent SUVs due to an inaccurate label attached to the vehicles. According to a notice published by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration this week, the now recalled vehicles were made with a certification label that incorrectly states their gross axle weight rating, which reflects a maximum weight that each axle of a vehicle can support. This actually warns the label may lead to an overloaded vehicle, which could increase the likelihood of a crash. They, again, will reach out to you. This is always whenever you are involved in a recall. Of course, they'll take care of it. It won't cost you anything, but you will find out through something in the mail or probably through an email. All right, in sports news, as we mentioned, getting ready for the World Cup, but our own St. Louis City SC was in action yesterday, and they beat Sporting KC. The final was 3-2. LA Galaxy and St. Louis will be playing next Wednesday. That's a late game, by the way, 9:30. And here we go with the FIFA World Cup. Just to kind of take you back, the semifinals, France lost to Spain, and in the semifinals also, Argentina beat England 2-1. So now the third place playoff will take place tomorrow. France and England in that game at 4 p.m. and the final will be on Sunday at 2 p.m. It is Spain against Argentina. So let me know. I like to get to know my audience. Who do you want to win it all? I'm rooting for Messi and Argentina. And we just had the Lambert Airport director in the other day. She said the same thing. So I'd love to know, one, are you watching? Two, who would you like to win? Let me know that. And by the way, you can also throw in, where are you watching it? There's a big watch party that they're doing with the St. Louis City SC group. They sent out an email the other day. So if you're looking to get around a huge crowd, let us know where you'll be watching the game. If you're following the Cardinals, they are back in action against Arizona. They've been off for a handful of days. It is 8:40 p.m. and they are in Arizona. The National Day of Calendar. It's National Yellow Pig Day, National Tattoo Day. So if you've been thinking about getting a tattoo, maybe today's your day to do so. National Lottery Day. Remember, you can't win if you don't play. National Wrong Way Corrigan Day. And it is National Peach Ice Cream Day. I can't tell you that I've ever had peach ice cream. I don't know. You tell me. All right. Well, I'll look at the comments coming up in just a second. I do also want to put this up on the screen. I got an email last night from Care STL asking if I could help them out with this little guy. So if you have your phones right now, do me a favor, get out your phone and scan that QR code because you can help this little beautiful dog out. This is Thor, a Care STL alum, formerly known as King Boo, now known as Thor, won the Best in State Illinois for the Pet Lovers' Choice Awards after 3 rounds of competition. So everyone can get a free vote every 12 hours, or you can make a donation to up your votes. All the proceeds benefit Best Friends Animal Society. He is competing for national champion. Voting started yesterday. It runs through July 22nd. They're hoping to promote him as a Care STL alum, and even though he is the Illinois state champion, he lives in our area in Alton, Illinois. So come on, folks, we want to help them out, right? Illinois champion to national champion. Let's make him the national champion. Vote for him. Again, just scan that QR code in order to vote, and let's put him in the tops. Okay, let's go to the comment section before we get into some big announcements. Christy, good morning. Julie, hello, friends. Yes. El Monstero at Hollywood. Oh, okay, so that's what you're doing this weekend. Enjoy that. Kathleen, good morning. Bab said she loves the Foodie Friday. Pete, good morning to you. Happy Friday. Bridget, happy Friday. Thanks for tuning in. Sean, watching from Dayton, Ohio. I love it. Hello, Andrew Lundu. Where are you watching from? Bridget said, I love that idea. I would pay extra. Okay, Sean. The Canadian wildfire smoke are bad in Dayton, Ohio. Yeah, it's crazy how many states are being affected by this. Okay, then Bridget says, think about it if the airlines actually will be making out pretty well if they have people paying for that. Plus, they probably can have one less flight attendant on while doing the ratio of flyers. Yep. Flight, not white, yes. Argentina, Rose says. Julie, I'll be in Chicago next week. Okay. Well, if you are watching the game, I see Argentina for Rose. Who else? Who else wants Argentina, or are you wanting Spain? What I want, plain and simple, is an incredible game. That's the main thing. I don't want this, whole one-sided. I want to see it all the way down. I want it to be a nail-biter. In fact, from playing soccer, I would actually love it to go all the way into penalty kicks, because to me, I know it's a long, long game at that point, but that's exciting to me. So wouldn't that be fun? Take it all the way down to that. All right, folks, give me a little drum roll. Let's do this. We told you we had a big announcement to make, and this is it. We want to welcome aboard Kaufman Outdoors to the Real Monica Adams Show. If you have not been, they are located in the Sullivan, Missouri area, and we were there just a couple of weeks ago. By the way, for those of you that came out to the porch and you met Jan Kaufman, her husband, Mark, owns Kaufman Outdoors. And so if you're looking for mowers, e-bikes, hunting gear, etc., I want you to check out their website. First of all, this is kaufmanoutdoors.com. They made their own e-bike, which is great for recreational. And then also for those of you that have hunters in your family, think about that. Instead of using the UTVs or the ATVs, use an e-bike as you're hunting. So they have the most incredible outdoor gear. Electric bikes, as I mentioned, bad boy mowers, Spartan mowers, all of this at Kaufman Outdoors. And look at that family. Aren't they amazing? I just absolutely adore them. I've already fallen in love with them just from meeting a handful of times. Kaufman Outdoors, as I mentioned, located for you in Sullivan, Missouri. So you can give them a call or check them out on their website. 141 North Service Road West in Sullivan. And you can call them at 573-468-8473. We had a chance to go into the shop and check out all the amazing gear as well as all of the mowers. I keep talking to Jim about doing our property, and I said, honey, I really think that you need to not have a push mower. I think you need to get something like this, a bad boy mower, Spartan mower, X-Mark, all of those. They also have the Beta Italian off-road motorcycles, performance parts, X-Mark mowers, bad boy mowers, Spartan, you name it, they've got it for you. So welcome aboard. Isn't that cool? I told you, we've got more and more joining the show. So welcome aboard to Kaufman, and of course you met, hopefully, Jan and her team over at the porch. So both of them coming on to the Real Monica Adams Show in a big, big way. Always keep an eye out down below, because that is our thank you to each and every sponsor that we have on the show. There's some exciting things coming up, by the way, on Route 66 this weekend. We're going to tell you about that. We'll take our break, and when we come back, Chef Matt Wynn will be our guest on a Foodie Friday, and I can't wait for you to find out how I met him. That's probably my favorite part of all. It all happened with a little tie to Mama Jackie. So that's coming up next. Don't go anywhere. If you haven't been to the porch, by the way, 16957 Manchester Road in Wildwood, Missouri, you can check them out on social media. You can check them out on their website as well. But more importantly, I'd like for you to come in. And you've got some exciting things. Isn't there a big Route 66 thing coming up this?
Yeah, so Wildwood has a big Route 66 cruise and a foods thing that's going on this weekend. It starts on Friday. There's going to be a band that's going to be playing at the Wildwood Center, and then there's going to be a cruise-in on Saturday. We are going to have popcorn, we're going to have balloon animals, we're going to have clowns, we're going to have sales, and we're also going to have trolleys that are going to stop in at the show, at the store, and we're also offering an old-fashioned soda bar.
I love that, and I know everybody's been talking about it, so that's going to be huge for all of you that are nostalgic and love the history of Route 66. Well, good morning and welcome in to another Foodie Friday. It looks just a little different today, and we're going to address that in just a second. Let me introduce my guest. This is Chef Matt Wynn. So good to see you again.
Good morning, Monica.
And I say again because I love how this all came about. Your wife bought my mom's car.
Yes. It's her first convertible she's ever owned, and she loves it.
She looks perfect in it, by the way. I love the fact that you guys sent a picture, and even your dog fit in nicely.
Yes, yes, yes. Real loves that back seat.
So have you enjoyed it? Because it's been, what, a handful of months?
Yeah. I mean, the other night she was watching Argentina
in
the World Cup. And, I was out and running errands, and she's like, oh, I should have called you to take an Uber here. And I was like, why? So that way we could have rode back home in the convertible because it's amazing outside. And why wouldn't you do that?
Absolutely. She is so adorable. We'll talk about, again, how they met and got engaged. Now it's his wife. She's adorable. And that's how it all started. And we sat there and talked, and suddenly it became, oh, what do you do? And he talked about being a chef. And I'm like, you need to come on a Foodie Friday. He's like, seriously? Yes. So we're going to give some background. You grew up in Springfield, Missouri?
Yes. Went to Missouri State University, graduated from there, and kind of got into cooking by accident. I was a hospitality restaurant administration major, so very hospitality oriented in the restaurant business, but with more of like a business personnel to it, like a business background.
Yeah.
But I needed an internship to graduate. My aunt was good friends with the chef at Craft Steak Foxwoods. Mm-hmm. And so she reached out to him. She was like, hey, my nephew needs an internship to graduate. This restaurant's amazing. I think he'd love it. Do you have a position for him? And I was a server at the time, working front of house. And I was, and she was like, yeah, we got you a job here. And I called them up asking for the attire about a couple weeks out from me having to travel all the way out to Connecticut, like out in Ledyard, which is, middle of nowhere. But if you are fans of Hell's Kitchen, their most recent season was filmed at actually like pretty much in the location of where I used to work.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah. So the chef responds to my question, like, hey, what do I need to bring? And he was like, whites, checks, chef's knives, the whole kit and caboodle. And I was like, oh, it's that kind of rodeo. Okay. Not expecting it. And I was like, all right, well, you know what? I am just going to keep my head down. I'm going to hide in the back, and I'm going to peel vegetables, and I'm going to survive this somehow.
That's what he thought.
Second day on the job, first day was like that. Second day, the guy working garde manger, just no call, no shows, and he's done. And so they were like, you're on garde manger. I don't know what that means.
Exactly. What is that?
And I go, what? And they just look at me and they go, just go over there and make salads, man. Come on. And so, and I survived the night. I actually do, I think, better than they expected. They thought I was actually like a culinary intern. They didn't know I was at like a local university. I didn't tell them that until actually like afterwards. They just assumed I was like a culinary intern that was, maybe a little behind the eight ball, but
How fun.
Yeah.
You never know opportunities, right? Where they're going to come from. But
Exactly.
when you get it, say yes. We always tell you to say yes.
This is true.
So how fun. So that's how his culinary background began. And then you've worked in a lot of wonderful places, including our dear friend, Gerard Kraft. You worked with his family of groups.
Yes. I got my first start at Niche. And I had first heard of Niche when actually we were, I worked at Hearth in New York City, and our chef, Marco Canora, was at the Beard nominations, or Beard Awards, and he was nominated, didn't win, but I heard of a chef from St. Louis winning that year, and it was Gerard Kraft, and I was like, oh.
I'd like to work for him.
Yeah, exactly. So when I moved out here, I was intent on working in the best restaurant in St. Louis, and that at the time was Niche.
Yes.
And so
it became Sardella?
Yes,
When it
Sardella.
closed? Yeah.
Yes, that was a bit of a transit. You get there and they're like, oh, by the way, we're going to be rebranding soon. And you're like, oh, okay. But the rebrand, I really liked how it sounded. So, I stuck around, and then later on, I became the executive chef over at Taste, which is a restaurant that is still dear in my heart. Oh man, I really enjoyed my time there.
What about Taste stands out?
I just think, just being able to be that playful and making serious food without taking yourself too seriously.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, the French fries were the star of the show. Like whatever else you could do, it was all about French fries and drinks. Whatever else you could do was kind of like a supporting character. But I think
all about the fries.
Yeah, I think there was a lesson learned, when we talked about putting cheese curds back on the menu, and I was anti and everyone else was for, and someone explained it to me, and they go, just give them fried cheese and it's going to make your life a whole lot easier. And that's because all those other things, you just give people something that's comfortable and familiar, and then that gives you room to they'll be able to order something that's comfortable and familiar, but also, hey, that's new and exciting. I think it just allows, if there's more of that, likableness to your menu, I think the guest is going to go and explore your options more.
Sure.
And that's a lesson that I learned. That was my first executive chef job, and I learned that lesson very early on in my career.
Again, and if you're just tuning in, so he's done a lot of things. His name is Matt Wynn, Chef Matt Wynn, and we're bringing him in. We're going to be cooking here while we talk a little bit more about the things that he's excited about. And now this might be a first on a Foodie Friday, by the way. Are we going to do a little pyro?
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
a little pyrotechnics
we are.
for you
I
after
brought
4th
some
of
bourbon
July.
in.
Okay, tell us what we're going to be making.
All right, so we're going to be making a pork tenderloin. We got this from Winneman's Farm out in Illinois. We've also got some other summer produce. We have some beautiful chanterelles here, which
Those look like flowers.
yes, they are popping up all over the place. These are foraged in Illinois. We have some beautiful sun gold tomatoes from Viver Farms, and we have what's here is like a nice Hirosaki turnip. It's a very beautiful variety, and I think a lot of times when people speak about summer produce, you don't expect a turnip in the equation because
This
you're
is
thinking, okay, turnips, you have those in your colder months. However, if you ever see turnips on the menu, on a chef's menu, don't sleep on it. There's a possibility that could be like the best turnip you've ever had in your life.
Really?
The best turnip I've ever had in my life, I pulled out of the ground in late May, and I didn't roast it. I washed it off with a hose and I ate it like an apple. It was a Hockerai turnip. It was actually in the city, in St. Louis. There's a local green farm out there, and yeah, just pulled it off the ground, ate it like an apple. Best turnip I've
Okay,
ever
you're
had.
going to have to get me to fall in love with the turnip. I don't know that I've ever asked for a turnip before, but well, okay. So we're doing that. So the pork tenderloin is going to have a honey bourbon glaze.
Yes,
excited
and
about
beforehand, it was brined in like a rosemary, juniper, star anise brine. Just something that gives like nice background notes. I just think that's a fantastic flavor affinity with pork.
Okay. So these are some things, by the way, at this point. So he's done a lot of things in his career, but you're working with a private club. Is this something that you would do at the club?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. This would be something we would do on our prefix menu, which we try to change very frequently.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to make today. We're going to talk a little bit more about some of the things that he can do also in private events. Maybe you want to do some wine dinners and things like that. We'll discuss that as well. Before we go to a break, I'm sure if you've been watching Foodie Fridays for a while, this looks different to you. It almost looks like a monster. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Eating Foodie Friday. The beautiful blue hood had to be switched out. So that's why we've been out of the Slyman Brothers kitchen and actually at Slyman Brothers Appliances in West County. So thank you to the family for letting us invade their kitchen again. But now we're back. And before we break, did you say this is the most beautiful kitchen you've ever
It is.
cooked
This
in?
kitchen's amazing. Like I really feel like I'm in the Jetsons or something. Like this is a freezer. That's a fridge. This beautiful induction stove top. I've never worked on anything like it before.
Do you like
yeah.
induction?
I
do you like
prefer
gas? Yeah.
but this is still really cool, and I really can appreciate an induction burner. You do have a lot of control,
Yeah.
especially for, pastry chefs swear by them, and
Yep.
I've had fantastic meals cooked in restaurants where they've cooked on nothing
On
but
induction?
yeah, Frankie's 457 Stutino in New York, like amazing food.
Interesting. Well,
Yeah.
we're going to use the induction stove from Slyman Brothers, and we're going to use the oven as well, right?
Yes.
All right, we're going to pull all the appliances in together in our Slyman Brothers kitchen. Okay, Chef Matt Wynn, he is our featured chef on a Foodie Friday, and we're going to get to cooking when we return.
What if you could start your day feeling loose, relaxed, and ready? Deep hydrotherapy right in your backyard. Relax with your family or friends, or work out with our Michael Phelps Edition Swim Spas. Worried about maintenance? We have factory-trained service nearby whenever you need it. Plus, we're here for you long-term if you have any questions or need to refill supplies. You can even test spas at our showrooms. Spas and More, A+ rated, locally owned for 20 years. We put the ah in spa.
Welcome back to a Foodie Friday. Thrilled to have you along with us. If you're just tuning in, Chef Matt Wynn is our guest this week. He's done a lot of things. In fact, one of the places that I love that you worked at was the Amgad Arts Hotel. How long were you there?
I was there about a year.
That's a really cool place, by the way, if you have not been there. We're going to talk more about his transition then as he moved to the former Cafe Natasha space and then going to Italy and all the fun things that happened with his now wife. So we'll discuss that, but let's get to cooking. So what do we need to start?
First off, we're going to start on our pork tenderloin.
Okay.
We're going to get it seasoned.
So if you just tuned in, we are making pork tenderloin with a honey bourbon glaze. And then we were trying to say, how do we say this? This is French. It's corn maque choux.
Maque choux, yep, perfect pronunciation.
Good. All right, so the pork tenderloin. So here's the thing about the induction stove. So when you're playing around with it, if you want that, we hit here.
Okay, gotcha.
And then slide her up. Do you want that one back there?
No, that's fine.
Okay. All right, so we've got our pork. Obviously, it's the main ingredient. What else do we need?
So right now, I'm just going to get that seasoned in the oven. And then while that's roasting, I'll be preparing the maque choux.
Okay.
So we have some...
Explain to everybody what a maque choux is.
So maque choux is a Creole dish. Generally, there's many different interpretations of it. Some call for jalapenos, green peppers.
I like that.
We're doing a more simple one today. I really want the sun-gold tomatoes to stand out more, so ours is going to be just basic corn, sun-gold tomato, garlic, and like a touch of Creole seasoning, some cream, and some roasted red pepper.
Okay, simple
Yeah.
ingredients. So if you want the recipe, there's not a heck of a lot to it. If this is something that we're making at home, because see, when someone hears something that sounds fancy to them, they have a tendency to push away. Oh, I don't think I can do that.
Yeah.
Chef Matt can do it, but I don't think I can do it. What would you say? We always like to ask on a scale of, what do you want, Zach, this time? We did Ninja Stars one time. What do you want? Monsters. On a scale of 1 to 5 monsters, how difficult is this dish for the home chef?
Oh, it's like a 2. I'm trying to think of like a Sprite. It's like a Sprite. It's not intimidating at all.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so it's very I guess a good you also think about a lot of Creole and Cajun food. It's all very homey, and it's based off of French roots, but it's very approachable food, I found.
Okay.
If you've ever made a succotash, this is something very similar. All you're really trying to do is take all these amazing summer vegetables and just create a vehicle flavor and just combine them all in.
I like that.
All right. there's
Letting
that
them speak for
noise.
themselves.
Yes.
Okay. So I mentioned again, so a lot of places that we said in the opening, but then you were in the former Cafe Natasha space.
Yes.
And then while you were there, you were able to travel to Italy. Mm-hmm. What part of Italy?
We were mostly in the north. We began our journey in Milan.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
Yes, Milan was amazing. And then we drove from Milan out to our villa in Piedmont.
Oh, same areas that we went.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes.
Where did you propose?
I actually proposed in Venice.
In Venice.
I almost proposed at this beautiful area. I'm pretty sure they've had millions of ceremonies out there dating all the way back to the dates of the Roman Empire. Mm-hmm. It's just an amazing view, panoramic of just vineyards and hills and trees. And I'm looking over at my friends, and I'm like, because I didn't have a plan of where I was going to propose or a timeline. It's just I just got to get it done before we fly back home. So that was my timeline. I didn't have a place or anything, and I'm just looking around. I'm like, this is it. It's like when they're jumping out of a plane, the green lights, flashing, and everyone was like, no, wait till Venice. And I'm so glad I listened to them.
Okay.
Because Venice was amazing. We walk into Piazza San Marco.
Okay.
And I guess this was the premier place to propose, because right after we did, someone else proposed.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
You're on their film, you're on theirs, back and forth.
But you're just like, I've never been in this space so amazing and so beautiful, and I think everyone else was privy to that.
Did she expect it? Did she know?
No, she had no clue.
Oh, I love
She had
those.
no clue.
That's
I had
the
to
best.
keep that. I had to keep it pretty under wraps. It's the biggest secret of my life. I was like, I have to be very meticulous about it, because I knew she wasn't expecting it.
And how long ago was this?
Oh, this would have been October 2023.
23?
Yeah, so almost 3 years ago.
Beautiful pictures, by the way, of the wedding. You gotta love the dip. The dip that you men have to master, by
We
the way.
rehearsed this. So my
Of
wife
course.
is a perfectionist, and we hashed over every single detail, like doing our dance, just really everything with the wedding. I'm gonna go and pop this in the oven.
Okay, perfect. We're again in the Slyman Brothers kitchen, back in our own kitchen. As I said, I know it looks a little bit different, but this is our new look and our new hood that we have in the Slyman Brothers kitchen. So now we're taking the tenderloin, and how long does it need to be in the oven?
A general good rule of thumb is about 20 to 25 minutes per pound. That one's about 3/4, so we're gonna go about 17 to 20.
Okay.
We'll check it.
And then while that's doing its thing, what do we do with all the other people that are coming to the table? This is the family that's surrounding the main guest.
So I'm really just going to go through and just kind of portion out what I would want on the plate. So first order of business is I'm going to chop my turnip, and you can see like this isn't your average turnip. You know, it really reminds me more of a Chioggia beet. There's just this beautiful like rainbow color, and it's just a reminder of like the beauties of nature and what it can provide.
So what would it normally look like inside? I don't think I've done anything with turnips.
So your usual turnips you would expect to find are very they're about 3 times the size. They're purple coated, a little bit of white. And they have more of like a horseradish vibe whenever you introduce them to a hot pan.
Okay.
They really sear up, and you just get this like big old like woof of horseradish to the face. That's why I always like to kind of pair them with honey or something sweeter to mellow that out. These are a bit of a sweeter variety. They're a little less earthy than you would expect.
Is this from the farm in Edwardsville?
These are from our friends at Buttonwood Farms in California, Missouri.
Oh, in California, Missouri. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I know you have something from Edwardsville. Did you not?
Oh yes, these Sun Gold cherry tomatoes right here.
Shout out to Zach Cities.
So yeah, and these, having played with them, these roast up very nicely. This color dissipates a little bit, but what I love about this vegetable is even after it's roasted, there's this beautiful like caramelization on top. That's why turnips are one of my favorite vegetables. If you ever have the pleasure of having like Tokyo turnips, also known as hakurais, they emit like a slight horseradish aroma when you add them to the pan, but also very honeyed. It's a fantastic aroma that just like your average vegetable just can't recreate. So that's why I love playing around with these.
Again, he's introducing us to some things that maybe you just bypass at a produce stand. You haven't brought them into play just yet, and today you'll get a chance to do that. What do you love about, again, as I mentioned, you've worked at a lot of different restaurants. You were in New York, decided to come back into St. Louis, and now you've been at this club for how long now?
Actually, I celebrated a year this week.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
What do you love about working in that environment as opposed to just a regular restaurant?
So every day is different, and every member that comes in has a different desire for a dining experience. So we get to really custom curate that. Mm-hmm. It's kind of difficult explaining to people like, we have 4 tables on, and you would, consider that a little bit busier, but you treat every individual table completely different. So I feel like every day is different, and I love that because I think obviously every day is different in every single restaurant, but there's kind of a rhythm and a flow to things, and you just kind of curate off the menu and you go from there. But like, for instance, we have a table that comes in and they're like, we're going to order off the prefix menu. Okay. We have a table comes in, they're like, we're just going to get it around the steaks. You have a table comes in, we're just going to get some bar snacks. And you have a table comes in and they're like, we've been going through old cookbooks in our basement. We found this recipe from Brennan's in New Orleans. It's called Steak Stanley or Filet Stanley.
And you had never heard of it, right?
I'd never heard of it before. And I was like, what is Steak Stanley? And then, you can search it and you're going to be coming up with Stanley Tucci cooking a steak, Stanley Steakhouse. But this old Brennan's recipe that's, 80 years old is filet mignon, red wine mushroom sauce. Okay, that tracks. Mashed potatoes, all right, we like that. Horseradish cream. Not for everyone, but all right. Caramelized bananas.
Caramelized bananas?
Caramelized bananas, yes.
That doesn't seem to fit, does it?
One of these things is not like the other.
But it works? Did you taste it?
I did. I didn't obviously, I didn't get a chance to like taste it with the steak. I think that would just be hard to explain to the member. Hey, by the way, I had
Give
to
me
take
some of that.
I had to take a bite of your steak. That's
But
why.
Have you made it for yourself or no?
I tried all the components minus the steak. I gotta be honest. It
Wasn't for you?
No, but I liked it way more than I thought I would.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
So one more time, filet mignon, red wine, mushroom sauce, topped with a horseradish cream, and then garnished with caramelized bananas.
Yes. The table loved it, and
Interesting.
they were kind enough to send an email, like one, thanking us for the preparation, being like, we know that was a little bit out of the pocket, but also like a very sweet story about the reason why they wanted it, and they were like, if we knew that there was anywhere we can go in the city to prepare it, it'd be you guys. So it's always very flattering hearing that.
That you were able to deliver that for them.
Yeah, we were able to
that
deliver.
experience.
Exactly.
Okay, once again, if you're just tuning in, we are talking with Chef Matt Wynn. We are making a pork tenderloin that's in the oven here for just a little bit, and he's going to be doing a honey bourbon glaze on this. I mentioned before we went into the break that people they're not going to be able to be a part of the club, obviously, but you do some private events, or maybe it's, what people love to do, private wine dinners and things like that. What's some of your favorites that you've done?
So my most recent event I did was I did a class with some local industry folks, and it was just basic knife skills and just going over like, okay, here's why we're cutting this vegetable this way, and then I assigned everyone a different vegetable and took them through the different cooking processes, and so
I love cooking classes.
they really enjoyed it. I had a great time teaching. They had a great time, obviously cooking and eating.
Yes, that's the best part of all.
Yes, exactly.
Tasting the fruit of your labor. Okay, so what can we do while that guy's in the oven?
So right now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start working on. Let's go and get our glaze going. The maque choux is gonna be a very quick and easy process.
Okay.
All right. Let me get used to this burner here.
Yep, so if you want this one,
Yep.
hit that.
Yep.
And then slide up. Otherwise, it turns the fan on.
Yeah. All right. Gotcha.
Yep, it just has to be in that exact little corner.
This fancy technology, getting used to it.
Again, in the Slyman Brothers kitchen with the induction appliances. So does it matter what type of whiskey?
No, not really. I mean, you can really get by with a very cheap bottle.
Yeah. It's interesting. We've asked this question on the show before. Some chefs think don't use poor wine. Like some people, their mindset is, oh, if you don't want to drink it, just put it in the food. And then other chefs are like, no. If you want actually good wine that you enjoy to be in the food as well. So would you say the same for whiskey?
I think it all depends. In this case, we're going to be flambeing it out. So a lot of like the natural aromas of like what make it great are going to kind of be on the wayside.
Yeah.
So that's just personal opinion. There might be some that would disagree, but like, from my standpoint,
Absolutely.
Whenever we're cooking with bourbon, it's just, they're like, what kind do you want? Just give us a well. Do not grab that bottle of Pappy. No,
Exactly.
no.
No Blanton's, no Pappy.
But with a rye though, I find though that like I really do notice the nuances if I'm ever using a glaze and it's been made with rye. I do notice those like caraway notes.
Okay.
So
So a little honey he has in the pan, and then we're gonna do whiskey. What else goes into that?
that's it.
That's it.
Yep.
That's simple.
And flame and flare.
And induction.
Magic. And magic goes into it.
And this part, so we were going to use a little maple, but this is the thing, people, when in a pinch, if you're like, oh, wait a minute, I don't have that, I'm going to switch around. Similar flavors, it's just going to have a honey glaze instead of a maple glaze to it.
Yeah, and on top of that too, I thought about it and I was like, with more summery, I think maple is maybe better for fall notes.
I
And
agree.
I felt like with the vegetable array, honey's going to be a little more maybe like neutral. I want to
And
say.
he's using honey from our bees, our
Yes.
local bees.
Yes.
Again, pork tenderloin, if you haven't made one, we're going to give you the recipe of the breakdown of how you can do this at your home. That's a fan.
There we go.
Oh. I think. Just hold down on that and then pull it up. You want it to go a
Okay.
little higher?
Yeah. This will be a good heat right here.
Okay, perfect. So hobby-wise, I remember you talking to my husband about hockey. How long have you
Yes.
played hockey?
I've been going on 2 years now.
Yeah.
I just played in basically like a tournament this weekend. One of the games I got man of the match, even though
man of the match
should have been our goalie. We won 1-0. I scored the goal, so they were like, you get this. But I mean, we won 1-0 because our goalie was just stopping everything.
Yeah, congrats.
Yes.
What do you love about hockey?
It's the most fun I've ever had playing a sport.
Really?
And I played rugby, I've played football, I wrestled. This is the most fun I've ever had. I think there's just a different, I don't know, you're always like at this battle of wits against yourself because you're doing something very difficult. You're putting knives on your feet and you're going on this incredibly
This
hard
is true.
surface. You're trying to coordinate yourself. You're trying to worry about like a frozen biscuit in front of you. All these things. It's just such an uphill battle of everything you're doing. And I just think every bit of progress you make is just, even if it's just, you got slightly faster, or you are able to turn a little bit better, or you're able to shoot the puck a little bit better. It just feels so gratifying, and just the community and just skating with people and then being like, you just seem to just get a little bit better every time you're on the ice. You're just getting a touch better, and just it's
our audience, by the way, they're big hockey fans. I know that about them. Yes. Yes. Oh, it smells good.
Yeah. So right now we've got this nice foam going with our honey,
That looks
and
pretty.
now this is when I want to add in my bourbon. I really just want all the aromats to come out, and it's starting to sizzle up a bit. And
So
now
again, we're using a rye whiskey and a little honey. Mm-hmm. This is your glaze. Yep. Isn't that fun? These are my favorite lighters.
Yep.
So I'm just
Oh,
gonna
now we're
turn
gonna
it
learn
on
how to
here.
do the butane lighter.
I know, right? There, and then you just that.
Okay.
Push that forward.
Excellent. All right.
Oh,
There we go.
Opa!
Opa, yeah. And we're just gonna let
Have
that.
you ever singed your eyebrows doing that?
Actually, yes, I have.
I knew it.
I have. I think it's a rite of passage. I think you have to singe your eyebrows while doing this. So really, we're just gonna let it, let all the alcohol burn out, and let it mellow.
What's your worst injury being a chef?
One day I was trying to puff grains, and I was in a hurry doing it. This was very early on in my career, and I had you're trying to get the oil like really hot, so it's an instant puff. So I got to pour the oil in a stand I have with a mesh sieve to catch everything and to separate the grains from the oil. I missed the sieve and got it all over my hands. And yeah, I just had a giant blister. It took so long to heal.
But no scar. I don't see a scar.
Thankfully, yeah. I mean, it was there for a while. I didn't know if it was ever going to go away. I think.
And you still have all your digits.
Thankfully, I have all my digits. No real bad, no real cutting injuries or anything like that.
Good.
Just a couple singes every now and then,
Yep.
or the mandolins would always get you. And then, which a trick I learned early on is that if you have a glove on your hand and you're using the product, the glove actually kind of acts as like one last
It's that buffer,
mechanism
yeah.
of defense. So instead of like cutting the palm of your hand, you might like barely nick your skin, but like you're not going to get like that bad of a cut because initially that little bit of latex is going to protect your hands.
See, chef's tips.
Yeah.
If you're doing it without a glove on, start putting a glove on. That's why you probably have all your cuts on your hand.
Yeah, there we go.
Smelling good?
Mm-hmm.
It
Yes.
is.
All right, now, while that's going, I'm going to switch this over here. I'll have that in the background. And I'm going to apply that halfway through the cooking process of the tenderloin.
All right, perfect. Well, how about this? We're going to take a break. Okay. Again, if you're just tuning in, Chef Matt Wynn, if they wanted to have something that you would do for them privately, what would be the best way for them to reach out to you?
Either Facebook or Instagram.
Okay. What's your handle?
On Instagram, it's mwyn1848.
Okay. MWYNN 1848?
Yep.
Perfect. Check him out. Again, fantastic chef that could be doing a private event for you. All right, don't go anywhere. We'll have more with Matt on this Foodie Friday.
I love working here. I come in here and I feel positivity with everybody, down from the housekeepers up to the CEO. Our bosses actually get on the floor with us, help us out. I've been in plenty work nursing homes, and being here, it makes me feel very happy all the time. Being around these residents is amazing things. I might cry. Working with them, it's like my grandma and my grandpa. When I'm at home and I can come here, I feel free. When I'm having bad days, I can just walk in here and boom, I'm back into a happy place. They make everything happy and joyful, and they all respectful. They do put an impact on my life big time. That's it. I mean, yeah, that's the best memories. Hey, this is my place. This is my home.
Welcome back on a Foodie Friday. We are at the Slyman Brothers kitchen, back in our kitchen, by the way, and we're with Chef Matt Wynn. He's had several different jobs in his career and now working at a private club. At that club, you had a game dinner with a course that I can't say I've ever had in my life. Antelope?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes, it was a beautiful antelope terrine that was served as one of the first courses.
And I would think antelope was gamey and chewy, and it is.
Yeah, but yeah, it's very hard to describe. I want to say it's like eating venison, but it's not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, a lot of times people stay away when they hear gamey things because they think it is going to be chewy. But you folded that in pork.
Yes, just to help make the texture of the meat a little more moist and a little more presentable. But still, like, we tried to make it with as much antelope as humanly possible. So when you're eating it, you're like, oh yes, this is different.
What was the wine served with that? Do you know?
Oh, I don't remember. I want to say it was.
Is it a Bordeaux?
I want to say it was a Bordeaux. I
Yeah.
want to say it was like a 21. Yeah, something from like year 2021.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, normally when you have gamey, Bordeaux usually go really, really well. Speaking of pork, and since that helped out the antelope, we are doing that today. We have a pork tenderloin. Sounding good, Chef.
Very
it's a pork
good.
tenderloin, which, again, if you tuned in now, you missed the pyrotechnics that we did earlier. We have a glaze that we're putting on that's got honey and a little bourbon in it.
Yes.
Okay, so
we're
that,
gonna go ahead and apply
for everybody
that.
that wants to know, you would have that in the oven for about how long, you think? You said it depends on the weight of the pork.
Yeah, so this one I've had in for about 10 minutes.
Okay.
And halfway through, I'm going to go ahead and apply this glaze.
Smells yummy.
Another thing I like to do, so we have all this beautiful fat in the pan. We've also got a good amount of honey. Honey and turnips go nicely together. And I like to do a lot of things in the same pan as much as possible.
Okay.
So we're going to go ahead and add our aromats, this little bouquet of thyme, and our turnips to the pan.
I'm
And
excited
they're
to
gonna-
try these turnips, by the way.
Yes, they are very lovely. And so, yes, it looks beautiful in the pan. Everything goes together.
And that goes back into the
Yep,
oven?
we're going to pop it in the oven.
All right, while we do that, something happened to our chef about 1.5 years ago that went viral. You may have seen this video. Where did this happen?
This happened at the current Cafe Natasha space. Then it was Salve Osteria.
And so there was an unwanted guest that came to visit you.
Yes. Yes, a deer barged into the restaurant.
That's what you're seeing right now, by the way. I think you had a few choice words for that deer.
I did. Well, the thing is, when you hear glass being shattered and you're in the city, your first thought isn't a wild animal is running through the
No.
room. Your first thought is someone's breaking and entering.
Yeah.
And with how loud the smashing of glass was, my initial thought was, I first went to the back kitchen to see if the plates had fallen off a rack or something, because it was a very loud boom. It's like the loudest shattering of glass I've ever heard in my life, no hyperbole. And so you're checking to see if everything's with the plates, and then the glass shatters again. And you're thinking, did a car run into the restaurant? What's
Right,
going on?
right.
Is someone like taking a sledgehammer and breaking it in? So the first thing I yell out is, I'm calling the police. And then you're on the phone, and
The
then you
deer's
go out
like,
to-
go ahead.
And then for some reason, I think the biggest mistake here was actually going. If you think you're getting broken into, maybe don't go out into the dining room where you think people are breaking in. But I go out and I just see a deer, and I am just like, is this a dream? What is happening? The odds of
Were you by yourself?
I was all by myself.
I didn't
no
think
one
I
else
saw
was
anybody
there
else
yet.
in the video.
Yeah.
How do you explain that? And in the city of all things, you wouldn't think that there was a deer running around.
I'm pretty sure the odds of me winning the lottery are higher than a deer barging into a restaurant in the middle of the city.
How bad was the damage?
All things considered, I mean, the window was obviously very expensive. Somehow this thing only broke like 6 glass. And we know when we were resetting the dining room, there's glass. There's like 2 glasses on every table. And
Were you able to do service that evening?
We were.
Oh.
Yeah, the
Wow.
thing only broke like 6 glasses. I almost thought about asking it for a job. I was like, it maneuvered around that dining room. probably
It also tried to
20
order
times.
a drink at the bar.
It did. I tried to stop it from doing that. It also tried to break another window, and I tried to stop it from doing that.
How did you finally get it out? Did you shoo it towards the door?
I didn't try to shoo it. I wanted to shoo it. We have like a little fenced-in patio. My thought process was if I can shoo it into here, it won't, hopefully it will, not get hit by a car, animal control comes in. That doesn't happen. It jumps out the same window it broke out of and narrowly misses getting hit by a vehicle, which is what I didn't want to happen. But thankfully, I guess
It lived?
fate had it. Yeah, actually,
Well, that's a happy end of the story.
yeah, they grazed
For the
around, this apartment complex around Tower Grove, and one of our servers sent me a picture, like, it's the deer, and she knew which one it was because there was a mark of where it had gashed itself trying to get into the restaurant.
It's Cafe Natasha tattoo.
Yes, exactly. Which, I mean,
All right.
I know we all love Hamisha's food, and we want to, but like, there's a time period for that.
Exactly, it's a little crazy. Okay, folks, again, if you're just tuning in, Chef Matt Wynn, you can follow him on social media. Have him maybe do a special game dinner for you. Maybe it's a wine dinner, bat mitzvahs. He's done a lot of different things. You dream it up, and he'll be a part of it for you. Today, he has graced us with this special dish. Again, changing some things up for summertime, but if you do this for the fall, he was saying to switch it up, maybe do a little maple glaze. So honeyed bourbon. Now what are we doing? We got a little butter.
Yes, we're adding some butter in this pan, and we're going to begin making our maque choux.
Okay.
So I'm going to start off by adding in the corn.
Okay.
And with this, we're not really trying to get a hard roast on it. We're just really trying to achieve, cooking and breaking it down. It's really more of a stew rather than like an aggressively roasted dish.
So maque choux, corn, and what else goes into it?
Corn, we've got some, a little bit of roasted red peppers here.
Okay.
I'm gonna just allow this to get some action going, and then I'll add in the rest of the vegetables. But we've got some roasted red peppers. We've also got a little bit of fresh garlic, some Creole seasoning.
Okay.
And then we're also going to add in our chanterelle mushrooms.
We're going to put all that together. And then again, the pork has what?
I'd say about 7 minutes left.
Okay, so we're going to let it do its thing, and by the magic of television, we're going to bring it all together when we return, and then we're going to taste all of this. This is when it all gets to be fun, because we start having all the aromatics in the Slyman Brothers kitchen. It all tastes delicious. When we return, we're going to plate it all up with Chef Matt Wynn. It's going to look gorgeous, so stay tuned.
Hi, it's Monica Adams. Thank you so much for following along with The Real Monica Adams Show. But I wanted to let you know there's so much more that I could do with you, your business, your corporation. Did you know that I'm a motivational speaker all around the world, as well as an MC and an auctioneer? So if you have an event, maybe a nonprofit organization, and you want to book me, just shoot me an email, info@therealmonicaadams.com.
Welcome back. We're in the wrap-up of our Foodie Friday, once again in our Slyman Brothers kitchen. Nice to be back. We're back home finally. We're with Chef Matt Wynn, and we are in the wrap-up. So he's going to tell us a little bit more. I would love to know, drop a comment in if you've actually ever made this, Corn Maque Choux. I have not. In fact, I was like, what is that? Now I know a little bit more.
Yeah. I've made this several times before. I've never actually added chanterelles to it.
This is the first?
Yeah, this is the first, me adding chanterelles to it.
Okay, cool.
I think it's kind of like, like I was comparing it earlier to a succotash, just like a nice vehicle for, your summer ingredients. So the next step here would be to add in these beautiful sun-gold tomatoes. We want to add these towards the end just so that way they still have a bit of texture. You add them in too early on, you risk them getting mushy.
Okay.
Which is what we don't want. Everything, the nice part about this dish is that there's so many textures going on, from the corn to the mushrooms.
And he wants those tomatoes to stand out.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
No one likes a mushy tomato.
All right, and then I'm gonna go ahead and pull out our pork tenderloin.
Our main ingredient.
Yes. And so, like I said, the
gorgeous.
turnips are gonna need a little more time.
Okay.
but
With the time.
with the time, yes, exactly. But as you can see, this is why I love doing everything in the same pan. Just
Yep.
look how beautiful and glazed these are. So we're gonna go back into the oven with these while our pork is resting.
So Matt, what would you pair with this?
Ooh, this may sound cliche. I like using Pinot Noir in summer.
Okay.
Especially like if you find your hands on a nice Burgundy, I think those go fantastic with summer flavors with your main entree. Something, a little bit lighter skin, but robust.
What if people are not a red fan? What white would you do?
Ooh, I would like if this were me and you were like, oh, what white would you pair? I would love either like a Burgundy Chablis or a Loire Valley Sauvignon Blanc.
Oh, so I'm a big Sauv Blanc fan. So your wife, does she also love to cook?
She does, yeah. One of my favorite things she makes is chicken and dumplings.
I would love that recipe because that's the dish my dad was known for.
Nice.
So what is it about her chicken and dumplings that stands out?
Maybe the fact that she's just making it for me. I'm just always eternally grateful. I don't know. There's just the way she does it is like the way her mom used to make it.
Yeah,
So there's always
tradition.
something. There's like a bit of a soul connection whenever she's making it. So I feel that.
You feel her soul in the food.
Yes,
Well, that is
yes.
really what always makes the dishes the best, is when you put your love into it.
Yeah, which she does. I know she takes a lot of pride in her chicken and dumplings. She recently made a pesto from a bunch of ingredients from her boss's garden, and it was like a restaurant quality pesto. It was ridiculously good.
She's going to give you a run for your money.
I think so, yeah.
Oh, maybe we can hire both of you when we have you at private events.
Yes.
They're like, I want Annie too.
Absolutely.
So we said this earlier, by the way, if you want something, because people always like to come up with special surprises for people that they swear have everything. If you would like for him to cook, do you go into their homes for any kind of events?
Yeah. Well, the most recent event I did was a surprise for a friend.
At their house.
They were surprising. Yeah, she was in town, and they were surprising her.
Perfect.
Or
again, private events, you can reach out to him. He said the easiest way just to DM you on Instagram or Facebook. Give that to them one more time.
And when 1848.
So there you go. So because those are fun. And then if you do these cooking classes, is that at the club only, or do you do cooking classes outside of it?
Oh, I did that at someone's home.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Awesome.
Yep.
I love this.
One that I'm really trying to work on is a pasta class. So if you're into that, that's really where I'm trying to get myself organized and geared towards, because that's something I'm always very excited about.
Pasta?
Yes,
I was going to
I
say,
love cooking pasta.
what is your absolute favorite dish to make?
Cavatelli with lamb sausage.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that was one of our staples on the menu at Salve, and it's one that's near and dear to my heart.
Interesting. Right. His home is definitely more fancy than ours.
Oh, this kitchen's super fancy.
It is beautiful for sure.
All right, so as you can see, it's more of like I said, more of like a stew, really. And then you get all these, as you can see, these amazing aromas just from like the collaboration, really, of these vegetables. It's kind of like I guess you could really say it's a bit of like a corn chowder.
Yeah.
If you will, but like, very like
It's got a
very
little kick to
chunky.
it, though.
Yeah, but as you can see, like everything really stands out, and that's why I'm very particular about when I choose to add in the sun gold tomatoes. As you can see, they're like slightly broken down, but they're not overly mushy. The acidity, all the innards haven't really escaped into our maque choux, which is what, we want them to stand alone. We want you to have every single bite and have the tomato be cooked, but also like that nice, beautiful bite of acidity.
Okay.
Especially this season on when they're in their prime. And then this is just a mixture of chervil and parsley. Just to add some greenery. Nothing too fancy here. Okay. And then I'm going to let this rest one more minute. In the meantime, though, I'm going to go ahead and pull out our turnips.
How'd they look?
Oh, they look amazing. They smell amazing.
Oh, they are pretty.
Oh, yeah. See that? I think most people, it's kind of radishy, I guess you could say.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see the taste of it.
Yes. So we're going to pop those alongside. As you can see, wow, look at that color. This is why I just love root vegetables. I think maybe a little bit to a fault. But like I said, if you're ever at a restaurant and you see root vegetables on a chef's menu. Like, don't sleep on it.
No,
it
I
might
agree.
be, like I said, it might be the best.
The standout?
Yeah, it might be the best vegetable you've ever had. You
I
just
love root
wouldn't
vegetables.
expect it.
But I've always done just like a medley of roasted vegetables that are all root vegetables.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right, in the moment of truth.
the tenderloin.
The tenderloin. So yeah.
As he's doing that, by the way, if there is a future show you would love for us to feature a particular chef at a restaurant that you love, or the restaurant, or we could even combine our Wet Your Whistle with our Foodie Friday, and we do little pairings together, let me know. My email is info@therealmonicaadams.com, and then we can have them on a future show.
It's beautiful.
Don't you love the passion in a chef? Mm-hmm. The way they get into the food. Who are some of your favorite celebrity chefs?
I mean, I love Gordon Ramsay. No surprise there. I also, I really love Massimo Bottura.
Oh, somebody else I think said that on the show a while back.
Yeah, he's obviously he's great and he's very influential. Let me give it a little more of a fan. I really want to show off that color. There we go.
Come on, that's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Very beautiful plate
You don't even
of
want
food.
to eat it. It's too pretty to eat. Nice job, chef.
Thank you.
All right, you're going to taste with me.
Yes.
So, are you like every chef that comes on that says you got to get a little bit of everything in the bite?
I do, yeah. My first thing though is I go with what I'm most excited about on the plate,
And
which
that's
you
the
would think
turnip.
you
I
think
can
it's
see.
the pork, but I'm
Nope.
like I have just been eyeballing
You
these.
have
I'm
been eyeballing.
so excited to see how these come out.
Okay.
And then of course the little bite of sun-gold tomato there with the
Okay.
corn.
All right. Surely smells amazing. Oh, look at that face.
I know it's cliche when you're on TV and you see them like.
Yeah, they're like, wow, that is really
That was
good.
a genuine reaction, okay? That was a genuine reaction. That's really good.
That is very good. Cooked perfectly. And I love all the spices that are bouncing around. Mm-hmm. That's
Exactly.
Yummy. Okay, let's go into this guy. Do we need a knife for it? Or-
Yeah, I can
Yep.
go ahead and let me go ahead and cut. Let's
Delish.
go. I love going towards the
I can't wait.
center here.
Zach, have you ever had a turnip?
I don't know. I don't think so.
If I have, it hasn't stood out like this one.
enough.
I'm thinking that, well, the pork's probably going to be good, but I tell you what, that turnip's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I love that you introduced us to this.
Yes, that's why I always loved. So like one of my favorite things to cook also is beets. I love introducing people to beets. People are like, I don't like them, but whenever we've gone to your restaurant, we've had them. They're like our new favorite vegetable.
My husband swears he doesn't like beets, and I said, you just haven't had them the right way. I love that little kick. There's just a little kick of heat.
Mm-hmm.
Nice work. Cheers.
Cheers.
This is very, very good. So, folks, again, don't be afraid of something that you think might sound too fancy for you to try. He said 2 monsters. It's a 2-monster dish for you at home.
Yes, but like I said, they're very easygoing
friendly.
monsters. Sprites.
Sprites. Matt, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. This is a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
We're going to enjoy this. We're going to make sure that
Yes, we
Zach
are.
gets a little bit of as well. As I mentioned, can't wait to see who we have coming up next on the docket. It's all up to you. Shoot me a message and let me know who you would love for us to feature. Stay tuned. We will wrap up the Real Monica Adams Show when we return. All right, wasn't that fun? And again, don't you love that connection of how we met and how it really almost didn't happen? I mean, I just happened to say, what do you do? After he and his wife bought my mom's car. And when he said he was a chef and then started saying that he worked for Gerard Kraft, I'm like, come on. So fabulous. I can't tell you I've ever had Corn Maque Choux before. I love the little kick he had. It had a nice little heat to it. But for someone who doesn't like spice, it wasn't too spicy. So if you would like that recipe, let me know and we'll drop it into the comments section for you. Again, if you didn't hear the news at the beginning, we are super excited to bring on board Kaufman Outdoors and The Porch as our new title sponsor. So for all of you that missed that and you haven't been, they're in Sullivan, Missouri, Kaufman Outdoors is, and then The Porch is in Wildwood, Missouri. And I would love for you to go and check them out. In fact, there's something really cool going on this weekend that I wanted to tell you about. If you are a fan of tradition and a fan of history, then you would probably like this cruise and showcase that's taking place. This will be for the Route 66 activity nodes along Route 66 on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. They've got a cruise that'll start at the Schnucks Wildwood Crossing, and then it goes to historic Grover, Good News Brewing, Old Pond School, Big Chief Roadhouse, historic Bethel Wildwood Church, and on to Stovall's. They have a free trolley service connecting all the activity nodes throughout the event, and then again, supporting the incredible businesses along the way, which include our friends at the Porch in Wildwood. They've got their porch party today and tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. today, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. tomorrow, and you can enter to win a $100 gift certificate with purchase. They've got an old-fashioned soda bar, they have sales throughout the store, and free popcorn as well. So if you're looking for something to do this weekend, maybe that is what you would like to do. So some ideas for Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday, of course, maybe watching the big finale of the FIFA World Cup. Stephanie, thank you. I love our Foodie Fridays as well. I hope you have a great weekend. If you haven't had a chance, by the way, if you're aching a little bit and you haven't stepped in to see our friends over at Exist Stretch, this is what you're missing out on. I mean, look how amazing I look like I feel on that table. I did, and I continue to do so, but the bad thing about me, and like all of us that get too darn busy, is you got to get back in. So Trisha will be back with us next Wednesday, and I will be making my appointment. I got to get my husband back in as well, because he mentioned after he was on the table that he was a believer as well. And a lot of you might say, well, why do I need to be stretched? Because that is what the body is asking for. And no, you cannot stretch yourself as great as the team can. You just can't get yourself in those positions that they do. And so it's all about bringing the body back to the state that it wants to be in. Exist Stretch, again, your first stretch is absolutely free, so you have nothing to lose. Unlock your body, the power of professional stretching. And I want to thank our friends over at Fox 2 and Andy Banker. He just did a story on them last night talking about their hero package pricing. So if you've got a first responder in your family, have them check that out. 5605 Hampton Avenue. That's the one that's in the St. Louis Hills area. And then they also have a location inside of Exist Fitness in Arnold. I'm excited for next week, by the way. We're going to be introducing you to the owner of Coconut Grove, Monica Spittler, coconutgboutique.com. And if you have not been in yet, we're just going to give you a look inside the store. It feels like you are on vacation every single day. In fact, some people just like to stop in and sit in there and just immerse themselves, have some coffee, and just feel like they're on vacation before they actually get a chance to go on vacation. Some great brands that they carry, like Farm and Sea. That's one of the things that people love to go in for. From a clothing standpoint, THML they have at Coconut Grove as well. And I'm talking about women's and men's clothes as well. You like True Ocean, maybe? I like the Farm and Sea. I actually got, it smells like you are constantly on vacation. It's like this kind of a suntan oil smell, which we all love, right? It makes you think you're sitting there next to the beach. But clothing-wise, whether it's clothes or maybe it's candles, maybe it's jewelry, they've got it all. Coconut Grove Boutique. And again, Monica in studio with us next Tuesday, telling her story about how it all came about and what she overcame to finally get to that point. That's on A Testament Tuesday next week. On Monday, by the way, we've got Jenny Gabriel with JG Optimal Wellness, and she just kicked off a menopause audit that we'll be talking all about on Monday. And then, as I mentioned, Trisha Rhodes will be with us for our Wellness Wednesday. Always asking you if there's somebody you would like for us to have on the show, a guest, you've got a topic, maybe you've got an idea for a live on location show, send me a message at info@therealmonicaadams.com. And as we wrap up, we're going to go back to a book we haven't read from in a while, Jesus Calling. This is from a lot of you like Sarah Young's books. Jesus Calling, there's one, Jesus Speaks. There's so many, and I want to thank a dear friend of ours that actually gave this to us. So Marilyn, thank you for providing us with today's testimonial. Come away with me for a while. The world with its nonstop demands can be put on hold. Most people put me on hold, rationalizing that someday they'll find time to focus on me. But the longer people push me into the background of their lives, the harder it is for them to find me. You live among people who glorify busyness. They have made time a tyrant that controls their lives. Even those who know me as Savior tend to march to the tempo of the world. They've bought into the illusion that more is always better, more meetings, more programs, more activity. I've called you to follow me on a solitary path, making time alone with me your highest priority and your deepest joy. It's a pathway largely unappreciated and often despised. However, you have chosen the better thing, which will never be taken away from you. Moreover, as you walk close to me, I can bless others through you. You want to know more about that? It's Song of Songs 2 verse 13 or Luke 10 verses 41 through 42. That's a good one, and it really hits home with me, right? It's just that busy, busy, busy. Sometimes you just got to slow down. In fact, yesterday, by the way, I'm sorry I wasn't able to be with all of you, but I did finally slow down and just took some time to try to heal from this silly summer cold. Any of you that are suffering with it, I feel you. And again, rest is exactly what you need. Well, I hope you have a chance to rest and get with your family. Enjoy time with those who love you most. Remember to share some kindness with each other. That's the greatest thing you can do. And then by Monday morning, we'll be back with you at 7 a.m. Until then, have a blessed weekend and remember to be kind. God bless you all.